welcome back to the Pozcast, a podcast where each week my brother and I rewatch an old movie, talk about it, reminisce, and hand out some awards. This week, 2011's Limitless, starring Bradley Cooper and Robert De Niro. Now, Bobby, last week on Django Unchained, you had no recollection that we had saw that movie together in the theater. Would it also surprise you to know we saw this movie, for some reason, in the theater together? Bonus question, can you tell me the city we saw it in?
So we're at dinner the other day, and I said something. It was Mary and I and another couple. And I said something, and she goes, yeah, we just talked about that. And I know we didn't. And I got angry at her. I said, you know how that makes me feel when you say I forgot something when I know it and some forget? You know I have brain issues. So you could say literally anything of where we saw that movie, and I believe you.
We saw it in Birmingham, Bobby. We played Oxmoor Valley. We were both in Birmingham for work. And then we're like, let's go see a movie.
I do remember that.
There we go. We stumbled upon Limitless.
I love it. I love Oxmoor Valley. I love the city of Birmingham. I spent a lot of time actually in Birmingham. I do like that spot.
It is underrated. All right, well, let's jump into it, Bobby. It's been a minute since I've seen this, probably 2 or 3 times max, I would say, in my life. Let me get your initial thoughts on the rewatch of Limitless.
Well, you know, before I started doing this, before I became a professional movie podcaster, I would always be like, how does Siskel and Ebert, how can they sit there and judge movies? Movies are just opinions, but now that I've been doing it, I got 70 some odd movies under my belt. I'm kind of depressed because now I can tell what a good movie is and what a good movie isn't. Meaning I knew I liked Crimson Tide, but I liked it even better as you're sitting there studying it. I remember this movie being much smarter, more edgy. I remember it being a better movie than it was. That's probably not a good way to sell this podcast. I still enjoy it. I still like Bradley Cooper. But I remember it being like, oh my gosh, that is so smart and so cool. And I'm thinking about it. Would you take it? This and that and all that. But I found some of the villains quite cartoonish, and a lot. There's a lot of questions, just a ton of questions of the writer. I'm not positive he took a step back and looked at the final work and be like, okay, yeah, I summed up. I connected all the dots there.
No, that's a great way of describing it. He never took a step back and said, hey, would this make sense? Why would he do this? Yeah, the question part should be fun. I would agree with you. Maybe it's just that 14 years have passed and movies have gotten more sophisticated and evolved, and sort of this concept of taking a drug and giving you superpowers is just played out, I guess, at this point. Maybe a little bit. But look, to your point, it's an hour and 45 minutes. It's fun. It's quick. It's got cool visual effects on the thing. This is the perfect movie to watch on a flight. You got an hour and 45-minute flight. Let me just put something on. It's kind of mindless and take you through it. And Cooper's fun to watch on film, I think.
It's Bradley Cooper and Robert De Niro. And Robert De Niro is really good in this movie. I thought he's a really cool villain. I think he should have been the star of the show. I could almost watch another movie about how he got there. More on De Niro later. I thought he was really good. Again, I don't want to say the movie was bad. I just remember it being much more slick. I've got a cool Hall of Fame plaque of, if this movie were made a different way, would it be better? But I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. It almost is like, man, there was a lot more potential than what they got out of this first run. That's what I would say.
That's a good way. Bob, when you say slick, I think you have to whistle the S, don't you?
Slick. Yeah. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Directed by Neil Berger. His other 2 films would be The Illusionist, which has got Edward Norton in it, and I think Jessica Biel, but it's kind of like the, poor man's version of The Prestige, so not that great. And then Divergent, which is a big film and kind of that dystopian society stuff a la The Hunger Games. You mentioned it. Cooper and Robert De Niro somehow is in this movie. It's always strange when you see a guy like that's in it. But look, De Niro went through this phase of, he had done all the prestige stuff and was like, I want to get paid now. I'll just be in any kind of movie and just give me some money. Abbie Cornish is also in it. This thing did well. Now, this is kind of before Cooper is like a mainstream guy. The Hangover had just kind of come out, so he was really kind of starting his run. But $162 million, number 47 worldwide. Number 1 that year was one of the Harry Potter movies. Now, a lot of times it's fun to look back and go, hey, wow, this was a really good movie year. 2011 was struggling at the box office. There was not a lot of great ones. Some ones that I found kind of notable, and I know you love the Fast and Furious series, but Fast 5 came out in 2011, somewhere in the middle. Any recollection of that one, Bob? You seem to be a connoisseur of those movies.
Yeah, I think this is one. There's a lot of cars, a lot of fast cars. There's a lot of action. There's some sort of heist, some sort of robbery, some sort of conflict. And I think probably Dom and the boys come out on top. Am I following it correctly?
Probably. I've never really, couldn't tell you a lot about this.
Is that the Brazil one where they take the safe out of the bank and then it's trailing behind them? That's an amazing one. I think that might be 5. Who knows?
Could be.
Who could keep these? There's nobody on the planet that'd say, hey, what is Fast 5 about? And they know the plot, correct? That doesn't exist, correct? Nobody
Maybe. Who knows? But not on this podcast. You're going to have to look elsewhere. Moneyball, a movie I could definitely tell you what it was about because our guy Brad Pitt was in it. That was really good. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which has got Daniel Craig in a role other than James Bond. A really good kind of slick. That's a slick movie.
We need to redo that one. I don't remember liking that movie, and I don't know why. That seems like a movie that I would like. I don't remember liking that movie.
Tough watch. I mean, it's kind of dark in some spots, but pretty good. And then a movie with our guy Gary Oldman, who I wanted to throw out since you seem to be a real big fan of him. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Now, the book is off the charts, much better. This is a slow spy burner, but a blockbuster cast. Ever seen it, Bob, or read the book?
Yeah, I don't remember it. I can't believe that, but I don't remember it.
Shocking. And then the best picture, Bobby, in 2011, The Artist, just to kind of give you round out the year on what a movie year that this was.
Listen, I know we're late on this podcast, and we heard from our fans. We get it. That makes us feel good that you're waiting for it on Monday morning, so we're a little late because we do have jobs and families. And we were looking for a movie we don't even have one for next week yet, and I need a short one because I got a busy week, and I'm sure you do too. Maybe The Artist is a good one for next week.
Now, that sounds like a pain. That'd be like The English Patient, just like a dry run. One thing this movie did do, Bob, it spinned off a TV show that was not good. It was canceled after one season. I never saw it. Did you see Limitless, CBS show back in 2015?
I think it came on after The Equalizer, not that Equalizer, the other Equalizer.
Great segue, Bob, because it got me to thinking, what are some successful spin-off TV shows of a movie? I think the best example in history is Friday Night Lights. You know, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. When can I get you to watch this TV show, Bob? Friday Night Lights. Come on.
So I think when the kids leave the house and Mary and I are just kind of staring at each other, we can start watching some TV. So let's see. Sam he's 10. You go to college. I would say another 15 years, right? Does that math add up? He's 10.
Sure. You're the math guy. What I would say, Bobby, is I think Mary Pozadik would like Friday Night Lights. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's a show you guys could probably watch together. Some other good spin-offs. Fargo, really cool movie, really cool TV show. I think they did a good job with that. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And Bobby, you mentioned it, you teased it. Now, technically, The Equalizer was a TV show first, and then we had Denzel Washington, and then the Queen Latifah spinoff of The Equalizer. Is that would you think The Equalizer is worse than Limitless? Where would you put that?
Yeah, 100%. I've never seen either of them, but I'm going to 100% say the Queen Latifah Equalizer is worse. And Coach, are you done with your list? Because you forgot one of our favorites and the latest to come out, The Gentleman. I'm all caught up on Mobland. I'm very in on it. Hardy's becoming a better character, so good suggestion. I mean, it's Tom Hardy and Guy Ritchie. You're right. I mean, but the Gentleman, which I hope the season 2 is coming out soon.
Great call. I'd missed it. Yeah, the Gentleman TV series, I think, kind of revitalized the movie. Got a lot of people to go back and watch the movie with our guy.
And
this podcast with our guy. McConaughey. Bobby, helicopter rating for Limitless. What do we got here?
I forgot to text you. Let's not bring up the helicopter ranking when it's a 0.
So it is a 0. You couldn't find. You don't think that beginning scene where they're shooting Bradley Cooper standing on that balcony, that had to be a helicopter?
That's
correct?
A drone, Mark. That's not.
That's a drone.
How loud and windy a helicopter would be. Well, maybe it could get. Maybe it's a half because there's a drone in it. But no, we've got to stop. We've got to stop. It's like the is it better than Man on Fire? We've retired that. We've replaced it with The Biggest Badass. No helicopter ranking, which is impossible because when he's over there in Italy and whatever, he's got to hop in a helicopter. That's what rich people do.
So there was potential. You just kind of mailed it in on this one. That's fine. That's fine.
I did not mail it in. We can't just give out ratings for anything. There was a reason Crimson Tide got a 12, and it was a pretty damn good reason. So I don't want to water down the category, Mark.
That would be good. All right, next week we'll find a helicopter movie for you.
Mark, on that note, one week, I forget what it was, we said, hey, like the Washington state flag at College Game Day, we're going to talk about Joe Bay every podcast. The very next podcast, we didn't mention him once.
He has now been mentioned. It's a new streak. We got to start it over. It was Django. It was we were wrapped in that movie. Great movie too, by the way. I can always tell how much I like a movie, but how much I think about it after doing this podcast. Thought a bunch about Django. That was really fun to watch.
It was good. It was good. Very good.
Any awards for Limitless, Bob, before we jump into this thing?
Shockingly, no awards. No foreign film awards. No worries. I'm shocked it made $162 million. I guess, Bradley Cooper. I think I've got a Hall of Fame plaque for movies that make you think, what would you do in this, right? And this is a classic movie of what would you do. So, Mark, not a Bob's Big Question. This is more of an overarching theme. Do you take it? Why or why not? Do you take it? What if you don't know what it is, like Bradley Cooper just kind of popped it? Or what if you do know what it is? What are your thoughts?
Great question. I think when we get to see, he literally says, what would you do? I mean, he kind of like verbalizes it as the narrator. Me, no chance. I mean, it's really hard to get me to take anything, medicine-wise, supplement-wise, anything. I just don't like not knowing how I'm going to feel when I take it. So, no chance I'm taking this thing. You?
What if you know what it does?
Side effects included? Because it got really dark.
I guess, because he still knew what it was. Yeah, well, no, if you know those side effects, you're basically going to die. You're obviously not going to do it. But, yeah, I don't know. It's, you know why I wouldn't take it? And this is, I think a clinical fear of throwing up. And it's not necessarily the actual throwing up. It's the whole lead up to throwing up. Like I think I've shared this on the podcast. My kids will now mess with me. And remember, God only gives you what you can handle. My kids don't throw up a lot. That's Mary's job, so I'm not going to deal with it. But, some parents are like, oh, my kids, like Joe Bay, just throws up, like right now. He'll just throw up. So, I don't do, and it's why I didn't try drugs or anything like that. Not that I was a big drug scene, but I was always afraid it's just going to make me throw up. That's the only reason I wouldn't do it. It's the only reason I wouldn't do it. I've never gotten seasick, ever. I take that back. Once we went snorkeling in the Keys, and it was really weird. Everybody got sick. But I've never been seasick, but now I've convinced myself I can't go out on the boat because, God forbid, if I start to throw up. So the only reason I wouldn't do it, not, hey, you might die, is I might throw up. I would rather not throw up.
Yeah, I think your fear of throwing up has superseded the act of throwing up.
100%. 100% it has. It's my kids now know, they're smart enough to mess with me, that if we're in the car on a road trip and they say I don't feel good, it's an immediate pull over. I'm out of the car. I'm like, Mary, take care of it. They'll do it with a little smile. Yeah.
I have a newfound respect for Sam and Olivia now. They're getting sarcastic.
Yeah,
I like it. Well, you mentioned it, Bob, scenes, and I'll just throw it right out there. I think it is the scene. My favorite one is when he says, "What would you do?" Right after scumbag Vern is dead, laying in there, and he's kind of like, and he finds it. He's scrambling through it, finds it, and then kind of asks a question, and then you get a montage, which I love. And he's playing the piano, he's playing blackjack, getting girls, which would be on the top of everyone's list if they could pull this off. And he basically becomes a superhero, right? It's like when Spider-Man, when Tobey Maguire first figured out that he could shoot webs and spin around, that's essentially what this is. And I thought that was my favorite part. You?
Yeah, I think so too. And it goes to one of the notes that I said, and it's hey, if you could have these powers, we always go back to this kind of, prehistoric, like Neanderthal mind. It's like money, women, power, and then you know what I mean? Like that's just the stages that you go through. But yeah, I got a couple more notes. Like I remember feeling this movie's kind of a bummer. I never remember that watching the first one. He comes back, but when he comes back at the end, he's kind of a douchebag. Like there's no winners in this movie. It doesn't seem like. And then I love that scene, and then I love when he makes his girlfriend take the pill to get away from that cartoon character that's trying to kill her. I love that. It's like The Unforgiven when Clint Eastwood takes that drink and becomes a superhero. You're gonna think your way out of it. I can't think my way out. He's got a knife. But ultimately, what this comes to is this comes up a lot in this show because these movies have a lot to do with it. Like, how much is enough? Meaning, like, he just keeps going and going and going. Listen, his life was terrible. Maybe you just write a book, you make a little money, and you live on the creek side. But everybody, you just can't stop. How much is enough?
Just can't. It is a downer, and I would agree with you. The quote-unquote protagonist of the movie, Bradley Cooper, is unlikable. I wasn't really rooting for him, even at the end. You?
No, that's what I'm saying. There is none. And how about this woman who is just like, how greedy and scumbag is she? Hey, I hate you. I don't like you. Oh, you're good looking and now have money. Now I like you. Oh, you're doing drugs and selling them and manipulating markets and manipulating this. I'm going to stay with you. Why? Because my life's a little bit better. I got a nice car, a nice house. You know, let's do it. Who cares? You're going to be president. I'm in. What a scumbag she is.
You mentioned the guy she's trying to get away from, Bob. He's coming up in my awards later. Do you know who that is?
Who is it?
It's Quintus.
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah. I like him better as Quintus, even though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I had. Some honorable mention scene, I think is like right in the beginning when he takes it and just kind of his like world just kind of clicks in. Yeah. Pretty cool visuals on that. But I thought the beginning part of the movie was better. And then to your point, it's just kind of like this downhill spiral. And then he kind of comes back up at the end. And we'll kind of discuss the ending a little bit. Like, what do you think's really going on there at the end? But any other scenes you want to call out?
No, I like when he's sitting with Van Loon and he's like, when he's proving how good he can be. That's pretty cool. It's kind of very similar to the scene in Good Will Hunting, you know, when they're at the Harvard bar. So I like that when people start spurting out stats and people are amazed by it. But in a movie, when I entered into it, I thought there'd be a bunch of scenes. There wasn't a bunch of scenes. I think me and you are in agreement. Although I like when she pops the pill and becomes a superhero. I thought that was pretty funny. And the way she got away was weird. I would have rather just her become Trinity and just beat the shit out of that guy. Instead, she slides across an ice rink somehow. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, like when she's surveying all of the options, there's a guy like with a machete, there's this, that, and the other. The best option is a girl skate? That just seems like a strange thing.
A girl skate and cut them. Meanwhile, endangering the lives and the health
of the child.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that child is scarred for life. But again, scumbag.
Carl Van Loon. What a great name.
Incredible name. Carl Van Loon. He's really, really good in this movie. He's. We'll talk a little bit about when we get to Biggest Badass. He's my vote for a lot of different reasons. But yeah, he's great. He's great in this.
Yeah, De Niro. It made me want to do a De Niro movie when we get to Hall of Fame plaques. The characters that this cat has played, it's ridiculous.
I don't know what's going on with the Chinese and the Irishman. My TikTok is basically Irishman scenes after Irishman. It makes me want to watch the movie, which I thought it was an underrated movie. I really like that, but he is so dang good in that movie. It's everything you want De Niro to be. He's so good.
That movie's aged better. You know, when it first came out, I think I saw it. It was like a home release or something like that, and it's
during COVID,
a good 3.5 hours. I mean, it's long.
I think it was a Netflix release during COVID, if I think I remember.
think so. Yeah, it was like a strange. I remember just sitting at home watching it. It took me like 2 days to finish it because it was so long. Underrated. I think had that have been in the theaters maybe a few years prior, there is some weird like CGI in there, like Megan De Niro and those guys kind of look young. It's a little strange. But yeah, I mean, it's Pesci, De Niro, Pacino. I mean, you got the heavyweights of all heavyweights firing at it.
Tony Pro? What do you mean you guys? You said you guys. You said you guys. I want an apology. Who wears shorts? Who wears shorts to a meeting?
Quotes, I did not have a ton. I did like when our guy Eddie Morris says, "I don't have delusions of grandeur. I have an actual recipe for grandeur." I thought that was good. But anything you'd want to call out, quote-wise?
How are you doing? Medication. I'm on very specific special medication. And he says it with straight faces.
Yeah.
No real quotes at all. Just kind of, what would you do? That's kind of to your point. Yeah, what would you do?
Yeah, I think that's kind of something that holds up. I had that written down. A movie that kind of asks the question, what would you do? I like that. I thought that was good. And he physically calls it out as a narrator, which I love, Bobby. But what else? 14 years. What held up for you?
De Niro obviously holds up. Having De Niro in a movie back when I didn't know who De Niro is now as a man, try not to bring politics in here, but it's a lot. You can believe a lot of the opposite things that I believe, but you don't have to act like him. So that's kind of bringing it down.
What do you think that is? He is really upset and hates Trump. To a degree, I don't know that I could ever hate someone, right? What's going on there?
I've learned a lot in the past couple weeks, and I'll tell you how I learned it. Is those people, both on the right and the left, are the extreme ends of the bell curve. Now, we know that. We know that this is true, but I hadn't listened. I'll listen to these podcasts like Ben Shapiro. I like to listen to Ben Shapiro. Well, for whatever reason, I haven't listened to him for 3 weeks. It was mostly because, all right, it's just too negative. He doesn't have much to say anymore. He's actually kind of going against a lot of what Trump says. That kind of made me mad. But then I just picked him up the other day, and he's talking about an issue. I guess some woman called some 5-year-old kid the N-word.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about it. And first of all, that woman is a psychopath. Like, we all can agree on that. He did 20 minutes on this woman. I'm just like, who cares about this? And I didn't know about it because I wasn't listening, and therefore I didn't care about it. Therefore, it didn't pollute my airwaves here. It's just I learned a lot. Just got to stop listening to that stuff because most of it isn't important. I want to keep up on current events, but I don't need to keep up on that current event. So De Niro is just so far on the side of that bell curve. You just think other people listen and think and talk like him because you see him talking in front of 100 people, but I don't know what happens. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's the people you surround yourself with, but it's very strange. It's very, very strange. Political debate. That's what holds up, Mark. This is a question and something that holds up. Being smarter makes you cooler? ? He gets smart. And he's just like the coolest guy in the world. That holds up, right? I mean, if you could take a pill to make yourself cooler, I guess. But you can't be too nerdy because then you're not cool. What is that? Is that a thing?
It's the ability to hold court at a bar. There's always that one guy that's kind of in your work group that can just got great stories, can retell a story. Half the time, I think they're just making up stories that they've heard that are there. But that's a true ability, and being smart helps in that scenario.
Having a medical kit when you're ready to kill somebody. The Russian comes to his apartment. He says medical, which took me down this rabbit hole. One of the most funny things that I can remember in one of our podcasts is, it's an obscure thing you probably don't even remember, is I asked the question of why when Ed Harris lands on the rock, did he need a change of clothes? They all change into their fatigues, but then you start going down the path of who carried it? Where did they put it? When did they make the decision? They're on the plane. Who? It's kind of like the Django. Who made these things? I can't see that. It's hey, who packed the fatigues bag? Where do we get changed? What do we do? So when they're on the way to kill Bradley Cooper, they're like, hey, do you have my murderous medical kit? The thing's this big. It's 4x2. Where do they keep it? Who brings it? Who sharpens these things to make sure? Is anything ever added to it or hey, I'm never going to use this to pluck a guy's eyeballs out. I need something a little sharper. I love going down the rabbit hole of these movies of how did they get this?
Had to be inspired by Dexter. That was kind of the Dexter heyday. He had his little bag of knives.
I tried to go down a rabbit hole of Hall of Fame plaque of best murderous kits. I could Google and Grok couldn't figure it out. It's basically Dexter and this, but I know there's others. I know they just they fold it out, and it's just a bunch of tools for murderous rage. So yeah, that's what I got for holds up.
What else holds up, Bobby? NZT 48. You can buy it on Amazon. There's an actual supplement, NZT48, for brain clarity.
And is it all organic or is it totally artificial? What is it?
No, it's there's like 100 different ones from different like supplement things. So when we get to eBay, you can put some NZT48. I don't know if you got a shelf there behind you, but you can have it sitting there.
I love it.
Right there. Addictive drugs, sadly, hold up, Bobby, along with side effects. There's a side effect goes along with all of these medications. Superpowers, a guy getting superpowers in a movie, I think will always work.
Normal people getting superpowers. I've
Correct.
got a Hall of Fame plaque on it. It's one of my favorite things about movies. Normal people getting superpowers.
It's incredible. Russian gangsters, I cannot believe you didn't bring that up. You're typically a Russian gangster guy.
Well, we've really gone down that rabbit. We've done like 17 Hall of Fame plaques on Russian.
Beat it to death. Beat it to death. And then I thought was funny, I don't know if you saw it, you've mentioned the skating rink. We talked about it, how funny it was. We talked about DeNiro and Trump. Did you see what the name on that skating rink was, Bob? It was the Trump skating rink.
It's the greatest skating rink ever. It's the greatest.
I thought that was exceptional. Questions. This might take a minute. Let me start off with one, Bobby. So Eddie Mora, in our beginning, our protagonist here, is a writer, a book writer. Do you think you could write a book? It sounds like the most daunting thing on the planet to me. Could you write a book?
Mark, it's my second Bob's Big Question. So let's go down.
Okay. Well, wait. Or do you want to do it now?
We can do it now. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Could you write one?
Would it shock you to say, yeah, I think I could?
Do you?
I know I can't, but I think I could. There's oftentimes I don't spend. I know there are people listening that spend more time in the car than I do, but I do spend a lot of time in the car. So there's oftentimes I'll be listening to something, I'll press pause, and then I'll just have a dialogue with myself in the car. Have you ever done that? Like, hey, if I was in an argument, this is the way I would say it.
Yeah, sure.
I'm the only one. And hands-free telephones have revolutionized that because now it doesn't look like I'm an idiot talking to myself. But I think I could. I couldn't do the sheer volume of words that it takes.
Yeah.
I think my book would be about 10 pages, and that's it. That's all I've got. That's all.
Just a short story. Like in Shawshank, a real short book, or the green one of them is like really short, right?
It's a very short book. Yes, I got that as a gift from one of our listeners, the Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption, and it's a very short, easy read, and it gives you everything you need to know. I don't know why books need to be this big. I mean, come on, let's cut it down. But yeah, shockingly, Mark, I think I could write a book.
I'm now awaiting the Bob Pozadic novel. Bob, here's a question for you. Better name for a drug in a movie, NZT48 or Provasic?
Provasic.
Undefeated? Is that the best?
Yes. So I love the way he says it too. So Devlin McGregor can give you more Provasic. I love the way he says Provasic.
Just so angry.
Yeah.
You know, they claim that you only use 20% of your brain. That's kind of the thing. This NZT48 like captures, gets into the other ones. Who comes up with this, Bob? Why is it like if we're only using 20% of our brain, how are you smart enough to figure out how much of the brain you're using? Who came up with this?
Mark, I guess that's why you let me go first, and then you don't have a lot of follow-ups because I say all the same things you're thinking of. But you went first this time, and now you're crossing mine. How do they know that? My question to you is: do we only use 20% of our? What if we use 100% of it?
Exactly. Would that be concerning to you? Like, hey, this is it. We're tapped out. You think that's why they say it? Like, yeah, we're only using 20%. We're really gonna be much smarter.
It was like when they were inventing the atom bomb, they also did that. They're like, well, we can't tell people that. Like, we can't tell people that we've got this is it. This is all we've got. So yeah, I think we're very close to 100%. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right, I'm going to keep going. I hate to steal your thunder, but I had so many questions.
It's fine.
When he gets all of his superpowers, Bob, and he goes off to some island, and he's up there on top of that cliff, he dives headfirst into the water, Bob. What is the rule?
Mark, all right, we're all off the map here, but this is fine. I like this. We can't go the same thing every time. So my worst decision, eating them like candy. Just settle down, Bradley Cooper. Like, you have a limited amount. Taking your time to kill someone. The Russian gangster pulls out the thing. But you never dive. You're never late for it. You're never late for a tea time in a flight, because if you're late, you might as well stay in bed, and you do not dive. And if you're going to jump off a bridge, you always let your buddies go first. Always let your buddies go first. But you never dive, and you don't dive from a cliff. I mean, just an insane decision.
And he's at this point accessing 100% of his brain. So nowhere in there it says, should we? I mean, we're coming off like a 60-foot cliff here. What could be down there?
It's just it's complete insanity.
Insanity. We talked about throwing up earlier, Bob. When Eddie starts spiraling, he's basically killed some woman in an apartment. He's meeting with Van Loon. He runs outside, throws up. Bob, did that scare you at all? Can you watch throwing up on film, or do you need to be present?
I'm surprised. It's again if it's immediate, but if it's like I don't feel good. The other thing about throwing up is the last time that I threw up was in 2000 at the SEC championship. And I think I took a muscle relaxer because that's when I first hurt my back. And there was about a 4-hour stretch where I couldn't control it. And it was very scary. My fear is if I start throwing, will I ever be able to stop? So it's not it's all irrational. I get it. It's all irrational. My buddy Chad Bradshaw, the moment his stomach hurts, he just goes, he's like, I feel better now. Like, it's an amazing.
It's true. You do feel exceptionally.
Oh, there are times when I'm like, come on, Bob, just be a man. You know you're going to feel better, but nope, I'm a pro. That sucker, that is staying down there. That ain't coming up.
Holding it down. We talked about the side effects. You asked the question, would you do it? So Lindy, his girlfriend, sees him just spiraling out of control, basically at death's door. But then she takes the drug. She's in a bad situation there with Quintus tracking her down. And Cooper basically says, look, this thing will help you figure a way out. But she knows what's on the other end of this thing. Would you have taken it in that situation, Bobby?
Yeah, this guy, that's why he's a little bit of a cartoon character. He's basically running through Central Park with a machete. It's go time. So I probably would do anything. I probably would have just said, okay, I'll take it, but is there any chance this will make me throw up? I would have probably made sure that wasn't part of the side effects.
Fair enough. I just have two more, Bobby, and we're building to the biggest question. Here's one I got for you. Cooper buys this. He says, I need a fortress. He spends $8.5 million, quotes it out. I spent $8.5 million on this thing. The Russian guys get into it with a chainsaw. Did he get fleeced at $8.5 million? It didn't seem very, safe in there, correct?
I mean, it is a chainsaw. I mean, I don't know if you can create anything that's impenetrable, right? Maybe they got
for $8.5 million. Don't you want it to take a little bit of work to get in there?
I mean, you paid just over that for your house, and people could get in there pretty quick, right?
Pretty easily, actually. Here's the final one, Bobby, that I've got. With the one that, if he just takes a step back, I think he can answer the question for himself. Why on earth does Eddie need to go to a Russian gangster to borrow $100,000, which sets this whole thing off? I think he said he quadrupled his money in 3 days. And what did he need the money for, Bob? Did I miss something?
No. We're all over the board here. It's complete insanity that he goes to a Russian gangster for $100,000. I know he's kind of a loser, deadbeat writer, but I'll go to Bob's big questions. Okay. He starts with $800. Okay. And he quintuples it in 4 days. Okay. Quintuples it in 4 days. Do you know how much money he would have after 30 days? Bob's
is this like the question, hey, would you rather have $10 million or a penny that doubles every day? So it's an obscene amount of money, correct?
What is it, Mark? Are you embarrassed to answer it?
What did he start with?
He started with $800, and he quintuples it. So he goes from $8,000. He goes from $800 to $4,000 in 4 days. How much money does he have after 30 days?
$500 million.
$62 million. Can you just... Hey, Eddie,
just wait.
Just have a little patience.
Yeah.
Just have a touch of patience. And he quadruples his money. You just pay the guy back the next day. It's like 30 days down the road and he hasn't paid this Russian gangster back. It's so stupid.
Makes no sense.
It makes no sense at all. You would have $100,000. He would go from 8 to 4,000 to 20,000 to 100,000 to 500,000. And then once you have the 100, just pay the Russian gangster back and be done with it. It just makes no sense at all.
And he's the smartest guy on the planet. Can't figure this out, correct?
Exactly. So he goes to the brother-in-law's house, and he's dead. One, how did he get so comfortable around dead people so quickly? He's like, "I'm dead," and the next thing he's just sitting right next to him, like dead.
Good point. Yeah.
Then when the cops come, why do you act so suspicious? You called the cops like, "Hey, yeah, I was over here to buy some drugs. He sent me on an errand," which is true, and he comes back and he's dead. Why are you acting so suspicious? You didn't kill him. Why are you acting so suspicious?
I think he's got the NZT on him. You know, he's feeling nervous. He's got those cleaning gloves on when he answers the door.
It's just ridiculous. Now this is kind of sloppy writing. I don't know if you even heard it, but it says like the NZT works, but you have to be smart in the first place for it to work. Like, I don't know if you caught that, because
I heard it. Yeah.
Why isn't the brother-in-law this smart? Like, the brother-in-law is dealing it and taking it, and he's a degenerate. Like,
but was he taking it? Was Vern taking it?
He had to have, right?
I don't know.
And other people have taken it. There's other people that have in this movie that are taking it.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So how is the brother-in-law? And he's the only guy who figures out to re-engineer this. Wouldn't just all the people taking it then be able to access their brain, look at it, the chemistry of it, and just recreate it? Why does he need to hire this chemist and pay him $2 million to re-engineer it? Can't he just do that?
True. Yep.
Like, did he kill the girl? Did we ever find out? Did he kill the girl?
Seemed like it, right? I mean, he's pictured walking out of there, and the lawyer, who's a scumbag, is like, it's circumstantial at best. I don't know. I got the impression that, I mean, they leave it open ended because he has no memory of it. I kind of assumed he did. Did you? No.
I assumed he did, but I never got confirmation. And again, did I miss this? Was I, not dialed in? But why is this guy trying to kill Eddie? Why is he trying to kill him?
Quintus?
Yeah, why is he trying to murder him?
I don't know if he's trying to kill him. He's trying to get the NZT for his boss.
He's trying to kill his girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Maybe, yeah.
That machete.
He wants that NZT.
Yeah, and then at the end, he just, so I don't even understand the ending. Like, they see him, he realizes that he died, he was on NZT, and then he brings Bradley Cooper to go get more NZT, basically the last scene before he becomes the mayor. Yeah,
because this is my impression of it. So his boss, the guy that Van Loon, I can't remember his name, but they merge with.
They were going to merge.
He's trying to get the NZT because he's dying. That guy's dying. And then he dies. So he no longer needs the NZT. He's mad at Cooper, but he's more mad at the lawyer who hid the NZT from him and his boss. I mean, look, we're pulling it through. No one cares. I mean, it's like the end of The Dark Knight. I mean, do we need Debo? No one cares at this point.
Yeah. And how is Abbie Cornish not a bigger star? She was very attractive.
I thought she was good. Yeah.
She was in Geostorm, which I think we might do next week. And then 3 billboards outside of whatever, Missouri or something.
That's a good one. Is she in that? Ebbing? Yeah, I like that movie.
She's in that. So, yeah, those are my questions. But a lot of holes in the script.
Lots.
A lot of holes in the script, for sure.
One of the bigger. This might be the biggest I've had since Point Break, believe it or not, where I was just so confused by things. All right, let's hand out some awards, Bobby. We start with the Denzel Washington Award for the biggest badass in the movie. I think we both have De Niro, correct?
Yeah, because he did it legit. I mean, he in the late 90s steroids era, he hit 38 home runs and no one cares. Like, he did it legit, and he's just as smart for the most part as Bradley Cooper with no NZT, right?
Correct. And De Niro might be the all-timer just being a badass in a movie, right?
He's great. He
just kind of owns it. Matthew McConaughey Award for the best scene stealer of the movie. I've already talked all about Quintus. Because I was watching it for a few and I'm just like, where do I know this guy from? It's Quintus.
It's Quintus. It's good. Yeah, I would totally agree with you that the fans are going to be mad. We're agreeing on too much here.
Tomas Arena. He was known as Man in Coat, is how it was listed for this movie. Yes, Man in Coat.
Didn't have a name?
No name. Man in Coat. I always find that interesting.
Tough beat.
Big Tom Callahan Award for the best parent, Bobby.
Jeez, I even got to check my notes here. I went with Van Loon because there's really no other choice. He's really, really rich. For the most part, I don't think he was doing any unscrupulous dealings. Now he's kind of got his information. He's kind of figuring out what he needs to figure out. But for the most part, kind of an up and up businessman. Who'd you have?
Yeah, that's pretty good. So I just did it kind of as a joke for my best parent and worst parent. So for best parent, I got Eddie on NZT. For the worst one, I got Eddie not on NZT, which leads into the Jenny Award for worst parent. And I got non-NZT Eddie.
Non-NZT Eddie. I've got the landlord's wife as one. I mean, what an absolute slut. I mean, comes up there to start yelling at him. He notices a book. And next thing you know, he's banging her. Like, I mean, what an absolute...
Instantly. Yeah.
Instantly doing that. But the winner is Abbie Cornish. I mean, just very similar to Jenny. When things are going good, I'm in. When things are going bad, I'm out. Hey, this looks like it's going to be good. I know this is... Yeah, it's just... She has absolutely no spine, no backbone. Very similar to Jenny. Not as bad.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah. Bradley Cooper gets a couple shekels in his pocket and gets a haircut, and all right.
Hey, everything's great now. Oh, you're basically taking, a mix between heroin and propanol or whatever it's called, and we're good to go. We're good to go. Propofol, whatever it is.
Propofol, yeah. Now, the bottle of NZT 48, I think, has to be the ultimate eBay award for the item from the movie that you'd most want. But I do have another one. Do you have anything else, Bob?
Yeah, it's the tin. It's very unoriginal, but it's the tin. And there would only be one in there. You'd pick it up and shake it, and there would only be one in there. I like that.
At the very end of the movie, I don't know if you caught it, when he's running for senator and he's in like his little HQ there, the headquarters there, got all the stuff going on. There's his name is Eddie Mora. And there's a red T-shirt that says, "Gimme some Mora." That would be a great T-shirt. Give me some Mora.
There's got to be one from Jim Mora coaching there down in New Orleans, right? That's got to be a T-shirt, right?
Good call. Give me some Mora. Okay, we have highlighted a cornucopia of bad decisions, and I think you already said it. Is it the diving first that wins the Terrence Howard Award for worst decision?
I also, on eBay, I had the manuscript of his book, like the printed out part of his book by Eddie. Yeah, it's diving. It's diving from a foot into the you could be in the center of the Atlantic Ocean, and I would tell my kids, you do not dive. There could be a whale there. You never know. So it's diving. Anytime there's diving in a movie, that's going to be the worst decision, 1,000%.
Why is that not taught more? Don't talk to strangers. Don't take candy. Don't dive head first.
Never dive. If I ever have a pool, it's going to say no diving ever. Not no diving here. No diving ever. You just never dive.
Feet first or you're out.
Feet first or you're done. You're done. Sam's beginning to question. Like, Dad, what if hey, what if we're right in the middle of the ocean? Nope. Cannot dive.
What if I'm going to throw up? Then can I dive? That should be his next follow-up question.
Wow, that's a tough one. Sophie's choice.
Sophie's choice. All right, it's time. Time at Limitless, Bobby, for your big question.
Hold on, let me wait a little bit. So I had Could You Write a Book? Mark, do you know any writers?
Lily does, actually. A friend of hers is a writer in town here. And we have books of hers around. But do I know? I don't think so. You?
Well, Aunt Amy. So Mary and Michelle's younger sister is an actual writer. She's actually written books. I think they're all nonfiction, not fake. Yeah, nonfiction. No fiction. That's how you remember that, Mark.
Yeah.
Nonfiction is not fake. So that's
good. These are the little things that get you through life.
Listen, left, right, you do one of those deals. Mark, you've had a lot of landlords in your life, correct?
Sure.
Ever had one that had a wife that looked like that?
No, I think they were all pretty much 55 to 60-year-old dudes, little portly, shirt hanging out and a cigarette.
Yeah, they don't. Well, the landlord could have looked like that, but his wife would not have looked like that. There's no.
True. That's true. Yeah.
Mark, ever tasted blood? So at the end, the way he survives is he You know, the Russian just takes way too long to kill him. There's too much talking. There's too many tools. And Eddie stabs him and then drinks his blood to get the innocent, which pretty clever. Pretty clever. Mark, ever truly tasted blood?
My own, sure. Yeah, you get like a cut. You're trying to like,
I would hope it would be your own. In what way would you ever be tasting anybody else's blood? Don't answer that. That could go down the wrong way.
Well, Bob, look, if we're playing golf, you get bit by a water moccasin, I will suck the poison out of there.
I love it. Well, Chat GPT, we can take that one a whole different way. So he's the Russian with the glass eye is over him. Bradley Cooper gets the needle and sticks it in his eye. Yeah. Mark, you're a medical man. Would an eye squirt like that? Would an eye squirt that much liquid out of your eye if I poked it directly with a needle?
Strange. Yeah, that whole thing was strange. And it totally blinded him? Wouldn't he be able to see around the needle?
There's no chance you would be able to see after a needle to the eye.
You think he right into the optic nerve? He was that good?
The trauma itself just, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was tough. Tough scene.
It'd be incredible. Mark, has anybody ever died from a piano to the stomach? So same scene, and the blind guy's shooting, and he pushes this piano about 2 feet. There's only so much speed you can get. It hits him in the stomach. He goes through the window. The window provides and he's dead?
I watched that scene twice to see. The only thing I could think of, did he fall on the shards of glass through the window, impaled himself on it? Because it made no sense otherwise.
Like Ghost, a la Ghost, when the guy falls with the glass.
There you go. That's the only, I watched it twice because I thought the same thing. What are we doing here?
Dead? He got hit with a piano. I get pianos are heavy, but it didn't fall from a 3-story building. Yeah. It came from about 2 feet from him.
Yeah. Look, they were trying to end the movie.
Yeah, you already stole my quintuple the money in 5 days. Hey, Eddie, just relax. Just relax, okay? Just slowly build.
And it was never really clear what he needed the money for. Like, what was he trying to do?
Well, he wanted it he said in the movie, he says, I wanted it faster. It was too slow.
Oh, okay.
I wanted it faster. Hey, I took 800 and quintupled it 40. I needed it faster. Just do the math, Eddie. You're using 100% of your brain. You're like, the next scene would be, if I do this for 24 straight days, I'll have $50 million.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
And then montage, throwing money. Like, just relax. Don't go to the Russian gangster to get $100,000.
Bad move.
So they Bradley Cooper and his girlfriend, they're sleeping in a double bed. It's not even a queen. Mark, have you ever slept in anything smaller than a king as a married couple? That sounds
first purchase, king bed.
Right? I mean, that's not a pretentious like, I only sleep in beds, but
I'd get a bigger bed if one allowed. It's hot. Just give me a space. I'm just trying to sleep.
I am trying to think of one of our friends. One of our friends, like as an adult, was sleeping with his wife in a queen size bed. I'm like, it's only like $150 more to go.
Yeah, this is not a status symbol.
No, you gotta. I'd get one bigger. You can just sleep in another room if you want. I mean, that's when the marriage is truly over. Right? Just sleep over there. Although you like to snore, and I know Lily is
just trying to sleep. I mean, we're not talking, we're not doing anything, we're just sleeping.
Well, Mark, you're supposed to be doing something else, but that doesn't take up much room, and that's
or time
much time in your case. Those are all my Bob's big questions. I think we did a great job.
We did. All right, the Rudy Sack Award, most emotional moment of the movie, Bobby. What did it for you here?
After I got done watching the movie, I'm like, what? Just the frustration of so many questions. The one why he goes to the Russian gangster for $100,000 was just, it broke my brain. I can't believe that's a huge part. It's a huge, intersection of a movie going this way. Why did you do that? I don't get it.
It's like they needed, like, hey, look, we want to put some Russian gangsters in this movie. How do we do it? This seems like the obvious. Got to borrow some money. But yeah, it made no sense. 2 weeks in a row, Bob, I'm going with a song. Ya-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. That's good. Yeah.
That's a
good tune. The Black Keys, Howlin' For You. You want to put that on your Spotify
obviously
playlist. All right, different ending, Bobby. So we see how the movie ends. big confrontation there with Carl Van Loon. He's like, I'm outfoxing you. I'm seeing 6 moves ahead of you. You don't know what's coming, and I'm off NZT. And then he goes and he starts speaking Cantonese there at the end, like, oh. So, Bob, what do you think? Is he still on NZT? Is he not? What is going on there? What are you led to believe there with the ending of the movie?
He's on NZT, but he's found a way to re-engineer it himself. You know, he was right there. He even admitted it. Van Loon says, hey, I just shut down your lab. Obviously, I'm going to have 2, 3, 4 more labs. Like, he's still on NZT. No question about it.
Yeah, I think the Russian guy with the injecting spawned, oh, we can do this, cut down on the side effects.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Hall of Fame plaques. Just got 2, Bobby. De Niro and Bradley Cooper. Let's listen to De Niro's. Listen to De Niro's guys. Jake LaMotta, Raging Bull. Travis Bickle, Taxi. Vito Corleone. This guy was a young
taxi driver. He wasn't with Danny DeVito and
Taxi driver, my bad. Vito Corleone. Sam Rothstein from Casino. Jimmy Conway, Goodfellas, or Lorenzo, Bronx Tale, and a host of others, but those are just some of the unbelievable ones. I personally, Bob, I think I'll always think of him as Jimmy Conway smoking that cigarette in the bar, just checking dudes out when Layla's playing. I can't remember the song, but there's a really cool, like, Stone song that's going there, Bobby. But what about you? Just a Hall of Fame guy, if ever was one.
I think of Jimmy. It's probably our highest rated De Niro film is Goodfellas. I would say that's probably for sure. And I imagine him in the phone booth. You know, it is what it is. He's gone, and he just gets it. He just starts banging that phone when they killed his guy. When they killed Pesci, right? They killed Pesci, right? That was when when they killed Pesci. Yeah, that's what I think of. I think of him and Jimmy.
Great one. That movie's a little long. Will not be the short one that we're doing for this week. Bradley Cooper. He's Chris Kyle, an American Sniper. But I think it comes down to Phil from The Hangover, or Sack, spelled with an S, Sack Lodge from Wedding Crashers. Unless you got another one, Bobby, but I think is he Phil or Sack? Is it possible he's Sack? Because he's kind of is he Phil?
He's Phil.
Phil. With the glass, we did it.
No, it's the glasses, greasy hair, black shirt. We fucked up.
You're right. I think it is Phil. All right, what Hall of Fame plaques you got?
All right, Hall of Fame plaque for movies with normal people with special powers. So we've got Limitless, right? We've got Lucy. That was actually they gave her the medicine to reach all of her brain. That was that Charlize Theron, or was it Scarlett Johansson? I think it was
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Just Lucy. Yep.
He's got Unbreakable. He's a normal man. He's a normal man with special powers. Bruce Almighty. He becomes God. It's pretty good. It's a normal guy. Becomes God. Chronicle, which we've talked about. I don't know if that'll ever make. If Chronicle comes on this podcast, we're probably at the tail end of it, but it's a good one.
That's a good one.
Big. Special powers.
Big. Wow.
Yeah. And a very underrated movie, which I would do again, is What Women Want. Mel Gibson, Helen Hunt. He gets to hear what women are thinking. So, Mark, did I leave any out? And what would you say?
Wow, all really good. I mean, Lucy is really good. Unbreakable was my winner just because it was Bruce Willis. But I think Big is the best movie of that, right?
That's a great one. That's a great one. All right, movies that make you ask yourself, would I do it? So you got this. Would you take the pill? You've got Interstellar. Would you go back? Would you leave your family to quote unquote save the world? Right, that's the biggest thing. We talked about it a lot. Would you be able to leave your child knowing there's a really good chance that you're not coming back, but also it's to save the world? The Big Short. Like, would you be able to push in all your chips if you knew, if you knew what they knew? Crimson Tide. Do you send the nuke or do you not send the nuke? Castaway. Could you live on that island for the years? I don't know. Could you do it? And then the ultimate one, Sophie's Choice. I mean, that's the cliche. The Sophie. We don't even want to talk about what that movie's about. I just think I know what it's about. Well, which one?
You said Sophie's Choice at the beginning of the movie, so I think that has to be. That's the standard bearer by which what would you do movies are measured on, correct?
I guess. Is that what your pick is? Sophie's Choice.
Sure, Sophie's Choice.
All right,
that will not be on. We will not be covering that anytime soon.
No. Okay, so last one. So the Hall of Fame plaque for directors, for the Hall of Fame plaque for Limitless, directed by another director. Meaning, I love this concept. I love this movie. Just done after we watch it again. Could have been done better. Made 162 million. So maybe we don't know what we're talking about. And it's just our Mount Rushmore. I added one. So if Christopher Nolan did this, if Quentin Tarantino did this, if Steven Spielberg did this, if Martin Scorsese did this, and then I added Michael Bay. What if Michael Bay did? What's the better movie?
Look, I'd like to say Nolan because it kind of deals, but give me the Michael Bay version of this where everything is just over the top, dramatic, lights flashing, loud music, right?
I get. I mean, imagine a Michael Bay movie. Imagine a Michael Bay movie where there was, unlimited brain power. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's all I got for you in Hall of Fame Plex.
Who's the MVP of this thing, Bobby? What does this not work without?
NZT, I guess. I wasn't rooting for Bradley Cooper. It wasn't like it was an incredible acting performance. Van Loon could have been kind of anyone else, right? I mean, is it Quintus or is it the actual NZT drug?
Yeah, I just wrote down the pharmaceutical industry, right? Like you kind of need that, and it's plausible. Like, all right, this thing, this could work, right? Let's do it. But yeah, a strange movie in which there really is no hero. No, right? You don't really. I mean, if Bradley Cooper would have died at the end, I don't think you really care, right? No. Van Loon had defeated him. You don't really care.
No, you don't feel good about Van Loon.
Yeah.
Because, there's even though I think he's doing on the up and up, he's probably not. Huh. Podcast ended like the movie did. Kind of a bummer. Kind of a bummer.
We end as always.
You mentioned Joe Bay.
We did mention Joe Bay. We had the helicopter rating, sadly, is 0. We'll workshop that.
Yeah.
We end with Pozcast predictions, Bobby. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I correctly predicted that Coachman Joan would take 2 of 3 from Tennessee, which I guess was an upset because you seem shocked that I had predicted that. He's got another big series coming up. We're trying to get him to the NCAA tournament. Set it up for us. What do we got here?
So they just got swept at Mississippi State. Mississippi State just fired their coach. So think if you're a player on that team, like, hey, why'd the guy get fired? Other than him, he didn't do anything stupid. He just didn't win enough games. Well, the players win the games and lose the game. So the players probably had a chip on their shoulder. They come out, they 10-run rule us the first game. And then the last 2 games were just baseballs. 1 pitch here and there, but still got swept at a team that was below us in the SEC. We're on a 4-game losing streak because the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers took them down. The reason I have this hat, my main man Tom Weidman has his son Ryan Weidman just voted Athlete of the Year on the Western Kentucky campus and a Major League Baseball prospect. So I got the Western Kentucky hat.
How big is this kid? Tom Weidman's a big some gun.
So he's actually like a Major League prospect. He's one of these guys when you walk in the room, you're like, that guy does something. He is he's put together, and fast. He's got like 40 stolen bases on the year. He's good. So now we got Oklahoma at home and then at Vandy. Probably need to win a minimum of 3 of these last 6 to get us in the NCAA tournament. My prediction is they do it. I think they're going to play very, very good here against Oklahoma at home. And then I can't wait for them to take it to the doors because my man Joe Bay will be rooting for the doors, unfortunately.
So we need 3 of the final 6 to get in?
I'll probably need 4, but 13 wins in the SEC. 16 guaranteed. No SEC team has ever not gone with 16 conference wins. 13 people are saying, hey, that should be enough. Their strength of schedule is like number 1 in the country. So,
is there a guy for baseball like Lenardi who does the bracketology for baseball?
There's a lot of brackets. Right now they're a 2 seed and like they're 10th in the SEC and they're a 2 seed because their RPI is very high and their strength of schedule is very, very high. So
who am I to argue with that? 4 of 6, Bob. Minjone goes 4 of 6 against Oklahoma and Vandy, gets in to the bracketology. All right, Bobby, enjoyed it. Until next week, it's been the Pozcast.